another installment of Can We Make Impact Wrestling the best promotion in Total Extreme Wrestling 2013. My name is the Mayor Jason Smith. I am your host, and a little bit of a new look to the stream today. If you are watching on Mixer, Twitch, YouTube, and my personal Facebook page, as you can see, we've got our donations down below. We've got a Twitch follower goal as well. And if you are watching on Kayfabe Controversy, of course, that is our professional wrestling page, I guess. Podcasting, news, whatever. Recently, it's been mostly just me playing Total Extreme Wrestling 2013. We've been a little slow. But that being said, I kind of advanced the game since our last episode because I didn't want to sit through an entire month of just me advancing to the next day with no TV to break up sort of the monotony between pay-per-views. If you recall, we sort of missed the boat, trying a little too hard to get to a bigger network than what we were on before. So we were a little late in extending our contract with Pop TV and extending our contract with Spike UK and Fight Network. So we are SOL for the next 3 months, and we won't be able to look at a new TV network until May. So we've got another month before we can dive into that. No real news to talk about either in between. No company shutdown. A couple of minor contract extensions. Bayley, I think, re-signed with WWE. We didn't really make a run at her. We did have a couple new talent join the roster that we had already signed from previous episodes, so you didn't miss any negotiations or anything like that. Cody is one of them that has joined the roster. He jumped on. He's a main eventer. We also had Mandy Rose come on board, finally. And we also changed Billie Kay's name from Jessica McKay, her real name, to Billie Kay. So that's really all you've missed in the days that I just advanced through. So without TV, it's going to be tough for us to sort of create or at least test the waters with certain matches to find what works and what doesn't with regard to some of our title matches. So we're just going to kind of be winging it here for the most part as we go through until we can get back on TV, and then we can kind of play with things a little more. Also in this episode, we're going to be talking about TNA's No Surrender 2007, the pay-per-view, September pay-per-view for TNA. And this would be No Surrender 3 if you're keeping score at home. 8 matches on the card. The first one was an interesting one. The TNA World Tag Team Championships. And you had Kurt Angle and Sting, who were the defending World Tag Team Champions, would lose. Okay, I can buy that. Kurt Angle had to wrestle, I think, 3 times in this pay-per-view. So he had to defend the World Tag Team titles, he had to defend the X Division Championship, and he had to defend the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So I can see Kurt Angle and Sting, a pair of Hall of Famers, leading things off. What I can't see, and what I'm not okay with, is Kurt Angle and Sting losing the tag team titles to R-Truth and Pac-Man Jones. Now, if you don't know who Pac-Man Jones is, Google him, because he's an NFL player who happened to be a wrestling fan, who also happened to show up at TNA and got himself into quite a bit of trouble as a football player. And so why TNA would put Pac-Man and R-Truth over Kurt Angle and Sting, I get it with Kurt Angle hitting the Olympic Slam on Sting and the whole turning on Sting kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. But whatever. You couldn't have picked any other team under the sun. You couldn't have picked LAX. You couldn't have picked AJ and Chris Daniels. You couldn't have picked Serotonin. You couldn't have picked the Motor City Machine Guns. You couldn't have picked any of those teams. Voodoo Kin Mafia. Team 3D. Triple X. Any of those teams would have worked over Pac-Man Jones and R-Truth. Not taking anything away from R-Truth by any stretch, but to have Pac-Man not only be on the team that wins the titles, but get the win? Come on. That's just stupid. All right. So we'll advance to the next day. We'll talk about the next match on the card. That's Rhino going head-to-head with James Storm. Rhino got the win. Of course, it wouldn't be a Rhino match without a little bit of hardcore activity. Jackie Moore got involved. Rhino hit her with a gore. Then he put James Storm through a table with a gore, and it was just gore everywhere. And Rhino would pick up the win. About a 13.5-minute match or so. And here we go. Travis Banks got a contract extension from SWE. Juice Robinson won the top prospect tournament, even though he's not technically a top prospect. And BJW looks like they're in trouble. And looking at their roster, financially, we could probably afford to buy this promotion, but there's nobody on the roster I want, so I'm not really going to spend the money to go and do that. It doesn't make any sense to pull that off right now. So we'll just, if they die, they die, to quote Rocky, I guess. All right, moving on. Next match on the card, pretty straight up match, singles match, about a 14-minute match. Frankie Kazarian would lose to Bobby Roode. Nothing really insane to talk about with this one. Just a straight up singles match with no gimmicks, no nothing. Next up would be Kurt Angle's second match of the night for the TNA X Division Championship. And it made sense for Kurt to lose the tag team titles. He held every championship in the promotion at this time. He held the tag titles, the X Division title, the World Heavyweight title, and also, by the way, he was IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So, yeah. A little bit of a busy, hectic schedule for Kurt Angle. So it made sense for Kurt to drop this title as well, and lose to Jay Lethal. Lethal would reverse the ankle lock into a roll-up pin and get the win. All right. Next up in game, not really much to speak of here. And we are 5 days away from Impact Lockdown, so we'll go ahead and move on from that. Next match on the card, a no DQ match between Chris Harris and Black Rain. If you missed the last episode, Black Rain, of course, Gold Dust, Dustin Runnels, in his, I believe, his second time around in TNA. I think it was his second. It might have been his third. But every time he would jump ship from WWE, or he would be released, or he would just not re-sign, he would come to TNA, have a run for a year or two, and then move on. And this Black Rain character kind of let him have a little bit more creative freedom. Unfortunately, he would lose to the Wildcat, Chris Harris. Another sort of roll-up inside cradle type pin got Chris Harris the win in that no DQ match. We have some emails waiting, so we'll see what those are. Oh, also, I can't believe I forgot about this. Nothing major that I forgot about, but something that I forgot about is developmental. We got rid of a handful of guys who wanted to be called up, and they hadn't developed to the point where I thought they would be useful to us, so we went ahead and released them. And we took a gigantic loss in March, by the way. Riley, one of our referees, has entered the final year of his contract. He's on a pay-per-appearance deal. And let's see here. Hold up. Yep, 28 days left. Okay. We'll put him on a written deal, and he's cheap, and I never have any issues with him, so we'll go ahead and let him do his referee thing, I guess. Whatever. Dude does not look 35 years old, though, I'll tell you that. All right. Next match on the card at No Surrender 2007, a 10-team tag team gauntlet for the number one contenders spot for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. The October pay-per-view, Bound for Glory, would be the host of this match between whatever team wins this gauntlet match against the defending tag team champions, Pac-Man Jones and Ron Killings, after they beat Kurt Angle and Sting. Yeah, I know, it sounds just as stupid as me saying it. All right, so the 10 teams involved. You had, excuse me, Voodoo Kin Mafia, LAX, the Dudleys, the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, Triple X reformed, Christopher Daniels and Senshi and or Low Key, whatever you want to call him, AJ Styles and Tyson Tomko for some reason, Sanjay Dutt and Petey Williams, Serotonin, which is Raven and Havoc. Then you had Eric Young and Shark Boy as the team, and Rock and Rave Infection, Lance Hoyt and Jimmy Rave as the other tag team that was involved. And 10-team gauntlet match, 25 minutes. AJ Styles and Tyson Tomko somehow win the gauntlet match. Tyson Tomko got a really weird push at this time during TNA. I don't understand it. We've got some unread emails waiting, and we'll see what those are. Lacey Evans, looks like her contract is set to expire. Sami Zayn re-signed. That's awesome. Good for him. A couple guys retiring. Nick Aldis is changing his style. Hillbilly Jim's retiring. David Finlay Sr. is retiring. Yep, that's just telling us Nick Aldis is changing his style up. So we'll move on. Next up, singles match between Christian and Samoa Joe. So during this match, about 15-minute match or so, Joe had Christian in a submission hold. Christian would get to the ropes, and when the referee tried to break the hold, Joe basically just beat the living bejesus out of the referee. And then more referees and security, a.k.a. developmental people and X Division guys, would come down, try to break up, Samoa Joe, try to stop him from all of this chaos he was causing, and they would all get beat down too. Joe would end up getting disqualified. Christian would get the win by default. Kind of a very strange way to end one of your co-main event matches, I guess, if you will. It was next to last on the card, and didn't make much sense. Talia Madison, after we fired her, heads to NXT. Devin Cutter is set to re-sign in FIP as well. We've got 2 days to Impact Lockdown. Alright, final match on the card for No Surrender 2007. Kurt Angle's third match of the night. The TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And I don't know if you know where this is going, but Kurt lost his other 2 titles, so it made sense for him to retain this one. So Kurt would pick up the win. About a 20-minute match over Abyss to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. So Angle got Abyss to submit. He had the ankle lock. After the match, though, you would have the debut of Gilbert Cosme, who in TNA went by Judas Messias, in the Puerto Rican world, like the IWAs and the Lucha Undergrounds of the world, and that luchador scene, he went by other names, like El Messias, Ricky Banderas, and the one that you probably know him best as, Mil Muertes. So, the 1,000 Deaths. Mil Muertes. So he would come and make an appearance. He would cut a hole in the ring, pull Abyss underneath, after he would lose by submission to Kurt Angle. We have a decision awaiting a response. John Briley looks like he's going to get an extension. Cameron Cade's going to get an extension. My dogs are losing their minds. for some crazy reason. I don't know what the problem is. Okay, Riley, Chris Levin gets his contract extended. That's what we kind of figured. And Desmond Xavier says he's done with developmental. He's only been there like a month, so we'll see about that, buddy. Moving on. And the next pay-per-view, Bound for Glory 2007, the October 14th pay-per-view. And you would have the first ever TNA Women's Knockout Championship match. Very interesting stuff. So you would also have a reverse battle royal. You would have a the tag team titles on the line, the X Division on the line. You would have a Monsters Ball match. You would have the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. And a couple other really interesting matchups. This would also be the TNA pay-per-view debut of Consequences Creed, a.k.a. Xavier Woods. He would take the place of Adam Jones as an in-ring talent for Team Pac-Man, as they were called. You also would see the pay-per-view debut of Junior Fatu, Rikishi, in TNA, making his debut. And then, as we mentioned, of course, the Women's Knockout Championship would make its debut. We've got some unread emails waiting. Wonder what that could be. And lots of shows on that Sunday. Mark Haskins, Jack Sexsmith are done being in developmental as well. Sucks to be them. Let's run our medical. Alex Shelley, of course, still out with his injury. Another 9 months. He's still got almost 4 full months left on his vacation as well, which basically it keeps him off of TV, and we don't shortchange him missing, if you will, a pay-per-view because he's hurt and we don't want to slow him down. So, let's go ahead and get to Impact Lockdown. Let's do this. The Nassau Memorial Coliseum in New York, Long Island. Former home of the New York Islanders of the NHL. Impact Lockdown. Here we go. All right, so we do have a couple of things that we can work with here, continuing that full field women's tournament, if you will, for Io Shirai, or Kairi Sane's women's title. We have Shayna Baszler and Candice LeRae are left. The winner will face the winner of Kairi Sane and Billie Kay, who will wrestle at this pay-per-view for the women's championship. And since we started leaving these matches open for the the women's division, they've been a lot better quality. I've been very pleased with that. All right, and then we've got Kairi Sane, Candice LeRae, right? No, Billie Kay. Billie Kay for the women's championship. We'll let them go a little long here. And Amy. There we go. Okay. So we've got that match all booked up and ready to go. Got a couple women looking to make their debuts, I think. Maybe just one. Oh no, Rhea O'Reilly got the call up. Chelsea Green already made her debut. Mandy Rose and Rhea O'Reilly need to make their debuts. And that would leave us with 9 women left. So, let's go ahead and book Mandy versus Rhea O'Reilly. All right. 9 women left. Let's do a 6-woman tag match. We have not done one of those in a while. So we'll go with Sue Young and Rosemary on a team, because that makes the most sense. Tessa Blanchard and Gail Kim. And let's go Kira Hogan and Chelsea Green. And we'll go ahead and post-show this one. That's going to keep Amy Dumont busy. Alright, and then we should have 3 women left, so we'll just do a triple threat match. Arisa Nakajima, Britt Baker, and Io Shirai. And we'll pre-show that one. Alrighty. Now, we've got our women all squared away here. Let's get our tag teams set. And the Lucha Brothers will get things started here. And we'll have them take on the Inner City Machine Guns, Ricochet and Rich Swann. These guys always 100% put on a show every damn time. It's fantastic. Alright, so now let's see. We've got 2, 4, 5 tag teams left. So we'll do the Young Bucks, and let's do OVE. I don't think... Oh yeah, we did that in February. So let's switch gears to the Briscoes. Yeah, let's do the Briscoes, because they have not faced each other one-on-one yet. And they always tend to do pretty well. We'll have that open the show, I think. Alright, then we've got 3 tag teams left, so we'll go ahead and triple threat those guys. The Coffees, the Gorillas, and OVE. And since they're all way down on the mid-card, we're going to pre-show it. Okay, cool. So our tag team division is done. Now, let's find an opponent for our X division, or our Impact Grand Champion, TJP. Let's go Tyler Black. TJP Tyler Black for the Impact Grand Championship. There we go. Next, we'll do the X Division title. And that would be one Marty Scurll taking on Jay White. They've always put on one hell of a show. Okay, now our final singles title, Kofi Kingston, the two-time Impact champion. You know what? I think I'm going to do a fatal four-way. And we're going to go Kofi Kingston, Adam Cole, baby, Cody Rhodes, and Will Ospreay. Not where you thought I was going, huh? Will Ospreay has not had an opportunity like this, I don't believe, ever. So it'll be good for him to work this one out. Okay. Cool. So there's our main event. Now we can backfill the rest of the show. So let's get Adam Page, a worthy opponent here. Let's do Adam Page and Sami Callihan. Let's see what we can get out of that one. Alright, and let's see. I think Flip Gordon. Yep. Dalton Castle's also on there too. Let's go Dalton Castle. Let's see what he can do against Bobby Fish. Those two have probably never, ever, ever fought in the history of anything. Alright, now we need an opponent for Flip. Let's do Flip and Johnny Impact. What the hell? I don't think they've ever gone one-on-one. Oh, Jesus, they go one-on-one all the time. Holy hell. They have fought a lot more than I thought. Alright, well, let's do Flip and Moxley then. That ought to be interesting. Okay, and let's see, who's next? Let's do Mike Elgin and Jake Hager. I like it. I like the idea of that match very much. I don't know why, though. Next, let's do Jay Lethal and Shawn Spears. I don't like that one. Let's do Jay Lethal, Johnny Impact. Never gone one-on-one. Perfect opportunity for them to start. Okay. Eli Drake, Sean Spears. Have they ever gone one-on-one? Nope. Never gone one-on-one. And we're over time. So, we're going to dial this one back a touch. We're going to dial this one back a touch as well. We'll dial this one back just a hair. Alright. So now we've got time for our final match of the night. We'll go ahead and fill up that that time. EC3 changing the game, and Kenny Omega, who for some reason is still a mid-carder. Okay, there we go. There's our full card, 188 minutes. Okay. Everybody's booked. Card is full. Let's do this. Not all that great to start off. Thank God that was a pre-show match. Even worse in that one, somehow. Thank God that was a pre-show match. Now we get to the main card. Whoa! Holy hell. One for the ages. The Bucks beat the Briscoes in an A-rated match. Mandy Rose and Rhea O'Reilly, not that great. Jay Lethal, Johnny Impact was good, though. Dalton Castle, Bobby Fish was okay. EC3, Kenny Omega was okay. Shayna Baszler beats Candice LeRae. So Baszler will be the next #1 contender to whomever has the title at that point. Jake Hager, Michael Elgin was okay, not great. Flip and Mox was okay. Hangman and Sami Callihan was okay. Drake and Spears was decent. Kairi Sane and Billie Kay. Look at that. Billie Kay wins the women's title. Kairi Sane finally falls, and that right there is a B-rated. That's the best rated women's match we have ever had. Thank you, Billie Kay. Lucha Bros and... oh yeah, we forgot to change that to a different kind of booking, so that hurt a little bit. Lucha Bros defend their tag team titles, though. Marty Scurll, defense number 12 of his X Division title, as he beats Jay White. Pretty awesome there, with the B-rated match. And another one that we forgot to kind of dial back on with the slow build action when we changed the times. TJP loses the Grand Championship to Tyler Black. And our fatal 4-way. Kofi, Adam Cole, Cody, and Will Ospreay. Cody wins the Impact World Championship, defeating those 4 men. And our post-show match, the 6-woman tag gets a C-. B- overall increases our popularity in 40 regions. And we'll go ahead and praise the Bucks for their A-rated match. And we'll praise Cody for winning the title. Alright, there we go. So let's check our buy rates. Probably not ideal. considering we don't have TV to build into it. Alright, so our show was great, 18,000 fans. It's about all you can fit into NASA, I think. Io Shirai's a little banged up. Buy rate of 0.73, so better than our last pay-per-view. Still not as good, though, as when we were doing the TV thing. So we definitely have to get back on TV, and we'll be able to do that here coming up in May. So we'll end the episode here. I'm going to advance the game a little bit to get into a little bit closer to Sacrifice 2020. And so we'll see you next time on episode number 42, where we will talk TNA Bound for Glory 2007, and we will book Impact Sacrifice 2020 as we try to make Impact Wrestling the best promotion in Total Extreme Wrestling 2013. My name is the Mayor Jason Smith. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.